What's up, guys? Welcome back to Life with Franco. Glad to have you here. So in today's video, we're going to be going over the very popular, infamous fragrance from Parfums de Marly, none other than Carlisle, right? And so obviously I am not the first person on YouTube to be reviewing this fragrance, but I have it in my collection. I love it very much and I just want to share it. I may as well make a video out of it. So for those of you watching, I really appreciate you supporting the small channel, right? And so with that being said, let's just get into the fragrance. And so I'm gonna go over like the whole personality type and all of that later in the video, but I do want to go over the notes because I feel like I'm getting a pretty good understanding as to the notes, what it all smells like, right? And so if I remember correctly, in the opening, what we're gonna be getting is we're gonna get nutmeg, green apple, and saffron. And in the mid, we're gonna get tonka bean, rose, and osmanthus. And in the base, we are going to get, I believe it's patchouli, vanilla, and opopanax. Alright, so I just want to say that I got this fragrance about 3 months ago, and it's been a wild ride. I did not like this fragrance at all when I first got it in. I made a video talking about the 8 fragrances that I got from Parfums de Marly as soon as I got them, and when I first got this fragrance, I actually had it in 8th place, I believe, 7th or 8th place. Like, I did not like this fragrance at all. I'm gonna go into the reasons why that is. But as I really took time to understand the fragrance, I wore it a bunch. I started to understand the appeal behind it. And so, for those of you who are brand new into niche, you're transitioning from designer into niche, I believe that Carlisle can be a very complicated fragrance to understand. It's very easy for a lot of these fragrance experts to describe, but to us regular people, I think it's a very tough one. So I just want to do a good job describing all of this, okay? And so, yeah, I really tried my hardest to understand this one. So here's what I get. In the opening, it's gonna last 15 minutes, and what you're gonna get is you're gonna get that nutmeg, you're gonna get that green apple, you're gonna get the saffron, and I saw Rotten Rebel. Very good guy, definitely subscribe to the channel. He talked about how that green apple came across to him like dried fruits, and I could definitely understand that. It's not the bright, juicy green apple that we're accustomed to. To me, it has this very dull kind of a scent to that green apple. So to me, it comes across like a rottening green apple. So once it's past its prime, it's no longer ripe. Now it's going bad. You know, once it starts getting squishy and it just gets dark and like kind of like just, you know, black. It's all squishy and, you know, just nasty. There's a certain type of dull smell to that. It's not juicy, it's very dull. And I believe the reason why they did that is because they wanted to keep the scent profile to Carlisle as a deep, dark, masculine scent, because that's exactly what it is, deep, dark, and masculine. If they would have just thrown that juicy, bright green apple that we're accustomed to, it probably would have thrown it off, okay? And so when you see that green apple note, please understand it's not going to be a very juicy, you know, summery type of green apple. It's going to be a dull, you may not even notice it. Honestly, I really didn't notice it. It's like hardly unnoticeable to the untrained nose. And so, yeah, once I got the whole dry fruit thing, I kind of started to understand it. But what I will say is that I didn't at all enjoy the opening. Even to this day, I still don't really enjoy that opening. It's a very rough opening. And it's very important to know, because if you are going to sample this fragrance or you're going to get yourself a decant, it's very easy to be disappointed by the scent, because especially if you're watching these fragrance reviews where everybody's talking about how, oh my god, Carlisle is like the best PDM. If you smell that opening and you're not a niche head, you're just brand new to the game like I was, your nose is not gonna, chances are it's not gonna enjoy that. It's very rough. To me, the way that I would describe the spice in the opening is that imagine you are barefooted and you are walking on a very rough carpet. Like every step you take is just rough. Like it's just hurting your feet. It's like grinding against the skin of your feet. That is how it is like to your nose. Once you spray it to your nose, it's very rough. Okay, but the good news is that it's gonna last 15 minutes. It's not gonna be the entire life of the fragrance. If it did last the entire life of the fragrance, honestly, I would just hate Carlisle. Like I would return it, ask my money back. I wouldn't like it. So Just do know that it's gonna be 15 minutes. If you can handle that, then it's gonna be good. Now, after the 15 minutes, now we start to get into the mid, and that mid is gonna go from the 15th minute all the way up until minute 35, minute 40. I would say minute 30 is when it starts to transition, but really it's 35 to 40 when you start to see the appeal going into, or the change going into the very deep dry down. But the mid, let's talk about that mid. So I've never seen a fragrance that does such a 180 as much as Carlisle. Okay, usually from opening to mid, it changes a bit, and then it changes a bit once it gets into the dry down. Like that mid is just like nothing to do with the opening. And so you're gonna get the tonka bean, you're gonna get that rose, and you're gonna get that osmanthus. Tonka bean is just like this creamy texture to it. The rose is gonna be more of a pink rose, not a red rose. And then osmanthus is known to smell like apricot, just a very light scent. So the reason why I say it's 180 because it starts off very rough in those first 15 minutes, and then it just turns into like the softest, wimpiest type of scent profile. Like it smells like light pink is what the whole mid smells like. And so it just turns into like this masculine, super masculine scent into this unisex scent. You could probably even argue that it may even go feminine. It turns into a nighttime scent, from a nighttime scent into like a daytime floral scent. So why they decided to make that type of transition, I have no idea. But it smells good, don't get me wrong, it smells good. It's just very surprising the change up that it does. It's like a fastball that turned into a sinker, just total change up. And so just thought I'd let you know. Now, once we get into that 40th minute, that is when it becomes that masterpiece that everybody talks about and everyone praises Carlisle to be. And so, if you are going to sample it, if you are going to get a 5 milliliter decant, do know you got to wait 40 minutes once it really develops. So the first 40 minutes, just ignore that. All right, just ignore. Whenever I spray on Carlisle, I always spray it like ahead of time before I'm leaving. I never just spray it on before I leave. I always give it that half hour, 40 minutes before I head out. Okay, so it's just that type of thing you're gonna have to wait for. Now, so it becomes like this deep, so it starts off deep and dark, and then it turns into this bright floral scent, and then in the deep dry down, it drops back down to where it's that masculine, spicy scent. But now it smoothens out. All right, now it's this rich, luxurious, smooth, spicy scent. To me, it's spicy, kind of woody. It has patchouli, which is an earthy scent. Vanilla is vanilla. A Papanex, I have no idea what Papanex is. I couldn't tell you that. I think I Googled it one time and I forgot about it, so my bad. But it comes across just spicy, woodsy, but just overall very smooth. Like masterfully blended, masterfully done. Okay, and so now it's like you're walking barefoot on a very smooth, plush, rich, expensive carpet. And your feet is just soaking it in beautifully. And so it's hard to describe that scent, but if you are a fan of Sauvage Elixir, it has that very nice spicy scent. All the way in the dry down to that, it has more of that relaxed, toned down, tamed, spicy scent. Not in the opening though. The opening is very rough, but once Sauvage Elixir dries down, you remove that lavender component and just that spice, kind of in the ballpark of that. I believe that if you enjoy Sauvage Elixir, then you're really going to enjoy Carlisle. I'll say that this is even more grown up and more mature, more masculine. The reason why Sauvage Elixir is very masculine is because of how loud it is. But if we're talking about pure scent profile, I think that Carlisle is even more masculine, more mature, more grown up. Sauvage Elixir is great for guys who are in their mid-20s, but I'll say Carlisle is perfect for guys who are in their 30s. And so I'll say that. But it definitely smells more expensive than something like Sauvage Elixir, better blended, more rich and just a better scent, I think. Smell subjective, but yeah, just very hard to describe, but it's just a very intoxicating, just super rich, just very, very nice, masculine, it is seductive. Perfect for something like date night. You really want to come across like a grown man, a guy who has his shit together, a guy who means business, a guy who's a man in charge. This smells like a man who's in charge. If you really want to show up to that dinner date, let her know, hey, you're playing in my house, we're playing by my rules. Now you're dealing with an alpha male. Something like Carlisle's gonna be great. But it's very, very seductive, very masculine, sexy. It's like a grown man's sexy fragrance. It's not like one of these like, I enjoy Azara, I enjoy La Mala Elixir and all that, but it's not like one of those youthful, sweet, playful scents. This is like grown man seduction. Really don't know how to describe it, but it's very, very sexy. Definitely worth sampling. I highly recommend. All right, and so other things that I would say to describe Carlisle, it smells a lot like fire. All that spice just smells like fire. Like if you just want to smell like fire, like you're this. And honestly, what came to my mind as I was like getting familiar with the scent is that, and I know this may sound weird, but I'm gonna say it anyways. It smells like Charizard, like the Pokemon Charizard. Remember when you used to be a little kid, used to play Pokemon? You and your buddies like, no, I want to be Charizard. No, I want to be Charizard. And everybody wanted to be Charizard. Honestly, when I spray this on, I feel like Charizard. I really, really do. That's really like just Charizard in a bar with like this fire-breathing killer Pokemon. Like this guy who's just dangerous and vicious. Like the guy that you don't want to piss off. Like Carlisle seems like a guy you don't want to piss off. Like, this guy will like unleash wrath on you. And so smells like a fire-breathing dragon. It smells like, and honestly, the thing that came to my mind is that it smells like a guy whose testosterone level is super, super high. Like the typical testosterone level is like 600, 700 is really high. This is like if you got like 2,000, like I think it's deciliter of like testosterone. So much testosterone, like you're just ready to fight. You're ready to like just act up on somebody who talks shit to you, and you're just ready to go. So much testosterone that you're literally like creating fire from within you, and it's just like coming out. It's just emanating out of your skin, like all this fire just coming out of your skin. So much, just very, very fiery. Definitely a very interesting switch up from any other fragrance that you may have, especially if you have a smaller collection like me. I know this is more like a mid-size, but if you have like 5-10 fragrances, this is gonna be a very interesting switch up. A great fragrance for date night. If you want to come across more masculine, it's a masculine scent in a very different way. It's not masculine like a typical woodsy tobacco type of scent. More just spice, like exotic, like I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just masculine. Very, very interesting. The whole fragrance just smells intense. I'll say it that way. You smell intense. You smell like you got some attitude, like you got some intensity to you. And so very, very interesting. Where else can you use it outside of dating? I think this would be good for those of you who are networking, because this definitely has like a CEO boss type of personality to it. So anytime you want to display like you are the leader, you are the man in charge, or you want other people to take you serious, maybe people who you're just meeting for the first time. If you're networking with other entrepreneurs and you want to smell rich, luxurious, but at the same time dangerous and like, don't piss me off, this would be really, really good for that. Going out with your buddies, excellent fragrance. I could definitely see you wearing this to the bars. I don't know about the clubs. I think it's masculine, but it's not playful enough for the clubs. But something like the bar would be really cool. Somewhere where it's like low key and chill. If you're going to a small little kickback, a little house party, nothing too big, not like 100 people, but something like, 30, 40, 50 people, I think this would be a solid scent. Definitely nighttime wear, be good for fall and winter, but for fragrances like these, like I'm not the type of person that likes to wait until fall and winter to wear a fragrance. If I really enjoy it, I'm gonna wear it nighttime during spring and summer. Like if it's that good, why not? Other things that I'll say is, to me, the only disappointing thing to Carlisle is that it only lasts 6 hours. So for something that's so amazing to only last 6 hours, it's like, I wish it would just last, 2 more hours, 8 hours. I think 6 to 8 hours is a sweet spot, but 6 is like a little short. It's like a girl who's gorgeous, but then you meet her and like just has a terrible personality. It's like, just, damn, you were so close. I almost said yes to you. But it's good enough. And so that's why I would describe Carlisle like 6 hours, but I kind of wish it lasted a little more. But if you are going to wear this, so let's say a small little house party, if you're going to go on a date, maybe she's going to come back to your place, you're going to go to her place. I would definitely advise that you take a travel sprayer with you, put it in there, spray it on 30-40 minutes before you leave, and then whenever it runs out, just pull it out and just spray it on all over again. I think you'll be good to go. But yeah, if you enjoy something like Sauvage Elixir, one of those masculine, dark, spicy scents that smells dangerous, vicious, a little evil. Some people say that Carlisle smells like an evil king. I 1000% agree. It smells like evil, sinister, mischievous. Like bad boy is not enough to describe what Carlisle is. Like this smells like mischievous. Like you're up to no good. Like, you know, some bad boys are more like an act. They just want to look like a tough guy, and then some other guys are actually are a tough guy. Like this seems like you've done some bad shit in your life. Like some sinner, like you got an evil mind, an evil genius. And so yeah, with all that being said, I still recommend that you go out and sample it, because, you know, somebody can describe a scent one way, but you can interpret a whole different way. What is attractive to me may not be attractive to you. And so it's very important. Like, to be honest, like all these reviews that I make, it's all entertainment. I enjoy talking about fragrances, but I would not take these reviews super serious and just straight up blind buy a fragrance based off of a review. I think it's very important that you sample a fragrance first to make sure that it fits you. But the purpose of these reviews is just to get you in the ballpark, an idea as to what a fragrance may smell like. Because to me, I saw a bunch of reviews before buying Carlisle, and when I smelled it, completely different than how I thought it was going to be. Like not at all the scent that I was going to be. Now that I'm 3 months into it, I can understand what reviewers meant, but still very different than how I thought it was going to be. So yeah, like I said, when I first got it, it was like in 8th place as far as all these Parfums de Marly's, but now I have it in 3rd place. First place being Layton Exclusif, that's my favorite. My second favorite, I'm not going to mention it because I'm going to make a review on that next, so I want to keep that a surprise. But yeah, so awesome scent. I highly recommend it for dating purposes, business purposes. For some of you, you are going to like this enough to where it would want to be a signature scent. I personally could not wear this day after day, not even in fall and winter. To me, I'd rather reserve this just for the weekends. I could not do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But yeah, so hopefully you found that video to be helpful. As always, please comment, subscribe, share, like, and comment. This is still a relatively small YouTube channel. I would really appreciate your support. It is absolutely free, but highly appreciated by me. And that rhymed. So just comment down below what you thought. If you have any questions, definitely, I respond to everybody. I'm very open, so if you have any questions regarding Carlisle, I would definitely love to respond back to you in the comment sections, or if you just want to say hi or anything really. Alright, so hopefully you found that video to be helpful. You have yourself an amazing day. Continue being a good looking dude, and I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.